Also, we are also joined by David K. Johnson, the American journalist and author on the show here. My first question to you at this point is the fact that, with their speeches, both Obama's, they essentially handed over the baton to Kamala Harris, especially with the slogan, "Yes, she can." How crucial do you think such messaging will be for the Harris campaign there?
Well, Barack and Michelle Obama are the best spokespeople the Democrats have. They're incredibly popular. If Michelle Obama wanted to run for president of the United States, I think it's pretty clear that she would be elected. So their absolutely strong endorsement of Kamala Harris will have a very powerful effect on the Democratic base. The real issue here in this election will be whether the Democrats can turn out enough votes in the 7 states that could go for either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, because we don't elect presidents by popular vote. We elect them through the states in something we call the Electoral College.
Right. David, Barack Obama, he often drew comparisons between himself and Kamala Harris there, saying kids with funny names do well in the United States. How do you think this will influence public opinion?
I think Kamala Harris is in a very good position to go to the White House. In less than a month, she's raised more than $500 million. Trump last month raised $139 million. There is clearly a surge among people who are tired of Donald Trump whining, complaining that he's been unfairly treated, and talking about going backwards. And one of the biggest themes you're hearing from the Democrats is we're not going back. They want to go to a new future, and one which is based on optimism, solving problems, making all of us better off, and then attacking Trump, who has promised to take control of women's bodies in terms of reproductive health and give more tax cuts to America's billionaires and large corporations. And that's not a very selling argument right now.
Absolutely. And lastly, it wasn't really expected, but then you never know in politics. Michelle Obama, she talked about racism that she and Barack Obama faced while he was in office. And it's important to know that she and Barack Obama have stayed away from this discourse largely. What do you feel prompted her to go there?
Well, the fact is that there is a great deal of racism in America. There are a lot of people who recognize this and try to address it. And there are people who want to, as one of the speakers said last night, I think it was Barack Obama, tell Black people, people from India, Latinos, they go back to your place. They want to have a white male dominant society. And the Democrats are pushing back against that because it's simply not broadly popular. There's certainly a minority of Americans who really seriously want that, but they're a minority. And by calling out this issue, the Democrats are trying to broaden support for Kamala Harris. Well, Donald Trump, whom I've covered for 36 years, longer than anyone else, and wrote about him becoming president in 1988, Donald keeps simply focusing on his base, not on attracting a broader range of supporters.
And one final word from you, David, on especially on the fact that, abortion and the right to choose, they have been like the recurring theme throughout the past 2 days at the convention. How is it driving the Harris's campaign, and how important an issue do you think is it going to be moving forward?
Well, I think after getting rid of the Donald Trump era with his doom and gloom, reproductive rights and freedom are the #1 issue. There have been 7 states with votes about reproductive rights, some of them very conservative states. They've all voted to ensure and protect the rights of women to control their own bodies. One of the things Trump supporters are proposing is to ban all contraceptives, condoms, IUDs, birth control pills. That's clearly not going to be a popular position, especially with anybody who's in their reproductive years. But they're not backing away from that. They're trying to complicate it, but they're not backing away from it. So I think establishing a national right to control your own body for women is a very much a winning issue. It will turn people out at the polls. And of course, that's what matters. Who actually shows up November 5th to cast a ballot?
All right, wonderful insights there from David K. Johnston. Thank you very much for joining us on NDTV.